There's a mistake that legit country bass players almost never make, and if you make it, you'll be exposed as someone who just really doesn't get it. Hi, I'm Luke from Become a Bassist, and in this bass lesson, you're going to learn the 3 ways to avoid this super subtle, almost hidden mistake. Welcome to Become a Bassist, where it's all about insanely practical, no BS bass lessons that let you play better bass, have more fun, and become the best bassist you can possibly be. This lesson will be a really quick one. I'm sure you already know the classic 1 and 5 country 2-feel bass line, but in case you don't, here's like the quickest recap ever for you. All you have to do is alternate between the root and the 5th of the chord, the 1 and the 5. So if you're playing a C chord, you just play the C and the G. Yeah? So with a drum track, it sounds something like this. There's that drum track. 1, 2, 1, 2. You can use the 5th above for a kind of slightly lighter area groove, and the 5th below makes it a bit heavier, a bit chunkier, right? Easy enough. So what could go wrong? The answer is premature articulation. Check this out. If we have a chord progression like this, we play a C and G over the C chord, and then an F and C over the F chord, and then a G and D over the G chord. Yeah? The problem is playing the F and then C over the F chord, we're ending that chord on the C and then beginning the next chord, the C chord, on the same note, and it just doesn't feel right. Almost like you got to the second note or second chord a bit too early. Premature articulation, right? The same thing happens going from the C chord to the G chord in this progression. And if you just kind of suffered from premature articulation all over this progression, that'd sound like this. There, here, there. Have a listen again. There as well. Yeah? And by the way, the backing track for this lesson is in the card in the top right, and I'll also put a link to it in the description below. Now, it's not the end of the world if you make this mistake, and if you do, the audience might not notice, they might not care, but the kind of legit traditional country musicians, they'll notice. And if they're polite, they may not say anything, or they might diplomatically suggest you change your approach. And if you're unlucky and they're less than polite, then you can end up getting chewed out or just asked not to play again. So what do you do instead to avoid the wrath of any cranky country composers? Well, there's 3 things you can do. Number 1, instead of playing the 5th in the second half of the bar, play a simple walk up or walk down to the next chord. Doing that would sound like this. Walk down here, walk up here, yeah. And for these, I'm just using notes in the key of C major. Couldn't be simpler. You can just use the kind of classic walk up and walk down ideas. You can use other ones as well, but these ones, they're classic. They work pretty much every time. The second thing you could do is just play the root twice instead of playing root and 5th. So you might do something like this. Root twice. Same thing here. Yeah, super simple, really effective way of dealing with this problem. And the final thing you can do is separate the 5th of the first chord and the root of the second chord by an octave. Let me show you what I mean. Now over the F chord there, we went to the high C and then back down to the low C for the actual C chord, right? There's an octave between that C and that one. And then right before we went to the G chord, we played the high C the high G over the C chord before going to the low G over the actual G chord. This will almost make it feel like a different note, even though it's the same thing in a different register. The kind of country two-feel bass lines we've made in this lesson are pretty formulaic, right? Which is great for getting started. But if you want to understand how bass lines really work and how they function pretty much within any song, then check out this video right here. It's all about the only 4 types of bass lines you'll ever need to create. And by the way, these country two feels are usually type 2s with just a hint of type 4. So when you're ready to start making great bass lines, I'll catch you in that video right there.